morning, everyone in Nationwide. This is your host, Evangelist Joan Evens Dacosta, coming to you live on Kingdom Restoration and Liberation podcast. Welcome to season 1 of this episode. Coming to you live from Palm Bay Guest House, Bogue Main Road, Montego Bay, St. James. They are responsible for this segment of this broadcast. This is the official opening of the newly built conference center where you can come in and have your wedding and whatever event and your fresh food and beverages. We will get right into season 1, episode 1 of Kingdom Restoration and Liberation podcast. Today with me I have no other than Miss Marian Edwards, who will be interviewing me about my powerful book, Her Voice Matters. Your Voice Matters. Stay tuned, don't move.
Today, the distinguished pleasure is mine to sit with an extraordinary woman whose life represents courage, service, faith, and resilience. Joining me now is Joan Dacosta, an author, police officer, evangelist, devoted mother, and a woman of deep spiritual conviction. She is the author of the inspiring and thought-provoking book, Her Voice Matters. After reading this remarkable book, I can confidently say it is one of the most timely and valuable resources for women navigating the many challenges of life today. The book takes readers on a journey, a powerful journey, through personal experiences, emotional battles, resilience, healing, and ultimately restoration. Across its chapters, Her Voice Matters explores themes such as the challenges women face, personal struggles, domestic conflicts, health battles, spiritual growth, and the strength that comes from discovering one's voice and purpose. What makes this book so impactful? It is not simply theoretical. It is deeply rooted in lived experience, faith, and wisdom gained through life's many seasons. Tonight, we are indeed honored to explore the heart behind this work and to hear directly from the woman who had the courage to share these powerful insights. Joan Dacosta, welcome. And thank you so much for having me on Kingdom Restoration and Liberation podcast.
Thank you very much, Miss Marian Edwards. It's an honor and I deem it a privilege to be hosting such a powerful and dynamic broadcast. Kingdom Restoration and Liberation podcast. What other featured name could I have searched for? Thank you.
Thank you too. I have a few questions for you, Joan. You spoke also about domestic dispute. So if we should move into chapter 5, and that was, you spoke strongly about it from your experience and perspective. What are some of the key factors that contribute to domestic conflicts in relationships, in families? And what guidance would you offer to individuals who may currently be facing those situations?
You know, this is one of our number one problem in Jamaica, and I personally institute a register. don't kill me, Mr. Commissioner. But a register, we would call it a second hand to the primary domestic violence register, where I extract all these domestic reports, and so I plan on having a one-to-one conversation with these couple. I already been doing it, and I've seen where I am getting results. I am a person who work behind the scene. I don't have to go about and say I am doing this or I am doing that. Right. But because it is at the table now where I am discussing it, I can safely say that where I am working, I am now one of the supervisors at the Withorn Police Station, and I am proud to be one of that supervisor who is very, very, very careful and handle domestic violence and dispute like an egg. It's like a baby for me, right? And so my intake on domestic dispute, it is a threat of act. It is the threatening act of violence against someone. Domestic violence hurts, and it hurts the heart of God. Domestic violence is the opposition of God's plans for our life. It's not pleases God. At no point domestic violence saddens the affairs and plans that God has for our life, especially when it turns the home into conflicts, and should I say head over heels. God is not pleased with that. And I want to say, a couple mays, I look at a few things. I look at many things, but some things I looked at today where in the sense of a couple must seek to complement each other. Those are some of the things that are conflicting in a domestic violence. No compatibility, no form of communication, the communication barriers, right? And this also encourages an abusive relationship. You say, the word of God said in Proverbs 22, 24 and 25, make no friendship with an angry man and with a furious man, else you will go his way. So you must keep focus. And many of the common mistakes that are made by women is when choosing a partner, it links to the struggle with identity crisis. That is one of the sore factors, because sometimes when you talk to them, as the conversation begins, you can know that there's no compatibility. And that's where the key factors lies, the problems lies. No, this might sound strange, and these are new ideas that I coin keenly in my book, and just help me to prep in my book, because the writer said the fadest of ink is better than the best of memory, so sometimes we have to return to our notes.
True.
Right? So desiring that someone special but end up with the wrong person is a factor of domestic violence and dispute. Let me say that. The person of your choice can determine your eternal destiny. Women in Nationwide, young girls in Nationwide, promising persons who want to get married, listen to this. Desiring that someone special but end up with the wrong person. I am a testimony. I don't speak, I speak what I live. Right? So it doesn't matter the age gap, color, or class. Women are attracted to different things in a relationship, as well as men. So let me not leave out my men, my goodly men out there in Nationwide, right? I honor you. I speak with confidence and I live what I speak. I am attracted to, don't laugh, Miss Edwards. You see my husband, you would have seen that. I am attracted to tall, handsome, nice, smell cleaning. One of the things that I am looking for, a nice mouth, nice teeth, nice nails, nice toes, right? Smell. Yes, these things do work. When you get into the relationship, you say, "Lord, I see your mouth went long. I see it smell." No,
true.
No, you prepare the way first. You're right. The affairs of the heart, right? Another one. I just talk about desiring the someone special, but end up with the wrong person. The weird type of love. We're pressed for time, and so I'm going to go through a little fast. The weird type of love. Some people confuse emotional attraction with love. Woman, I am talking to you. Women who experience this type of love rarely know anything about the man. We all do make mistake. Love blind. We say it was love at first sight. But let me tell you something. And don't let nobody fool you. Any relationship that is love at first sight, there has challenges. Mountain challenges, and if it is possible, probably they all end up at the council umpteen times throughout that marriage. So no, there's no smooth relationship. Every relationship has their challenges.
True.
In domestic, and you have to know how to handle domestic violence and dispute. I soon come to some advice, but just let me look keenly. I want to say knowledge is potent, and domestic violence and dispute are no respecter of person. We are living in a world where domestic violence and dispute are rated among some of the biggest problems, some of which stem from teenage pregnancy, rape, incest, poor mental health, poverty, low self-esteem, drug addiction. It is not only these factors that play here, but the bigger picture can be cultural shift, dysfunctional family structure, quality of education, civil responsibilities, religious belief, and unsafe spouse. I hope I'm not shouting. I feel like preaching. Okay? And, financial abuse. Hey, let us talk. A lot of people don't know. I need to get the domestic affairs on my channel, because a lot of them talk about domestic dispute, but they don't have a clue how deep this thing is,
True.
Domestic dispute and domestic violence is a deep affair, because as I start to coin my passage and paragraph into this book, the thing just start to flow. Hey, no man, financial abuse, adultery, mental and emotional abuse, inferior complex and inflated male ego. Come on, these are domestic violence and dispute. I look at 5 types of abuse, but I'm going to touch on the financial abuse. Let me tell you something, especially in Jamaica, no disrespect to my lovely people in this nation, and it's all over, not only Jamaican, but based on the ratings and my area of job and interviews, techniques, I can safely say financial abuse is a crisis in Jamaica. Yes,
Wow.
It is one, financial abuse. Because if you have a relationship that doesn't know how to value the worth of what one works for, it can be detrimental. Right? Financial abuse drives from poor planning. There is no cohesiveness in the relationship. Either of the two may be a spendthrifter, let me say that. Right. A gambler, alcoholic, or a drug addicted. Sometimes the couple might be spending more than they are earning and not exercising proper judgment of their budget. These conditions can hamper the life and aura of the relationship. So in truth and fact, don't hide it. Don't fight it out. Sit down and conquer the fear of these type of situation in nationwide. Don't hide it. Some of us have some relationship, you call them broke sport. Yeah. An eye for an eye. You bring home the money and you take it back and you're gone and you drink it out and you squander it. And we're right back at square one. No motivation, no increase, no development, breakthrough. These are the crises. And I wish if I could sit on some panel some other time with this nation to really bring out these type of crises, abuse, that really influence and fuel domestic violence. Yes. I won't even touch adultery. Mental and emotional abuse, that's another serious one. You see how powerful this book is? Look at how powerful this book is. It is not just a book, but you wouldn't believe that this little guide here had so much powerful information. Don't delay to get your copy, please, nationwide. Mental and emotional abuse. Some partner create epidemic. It's like a disease. It's like a sore broken away, can't heal. Epidemic situation in a mental and emotional manner. These do have a direct impact on behavior. Emotional abuse can be difficult to identify, and it is true. It also has to do with the mental health, emotional abuse. Some people afraid to conquer it. I was watching one of our favorite Jamaica comedian, and she was bold enough to speak. I don't want to call any name without a certain, certainty. Certainty? Certain, yes. Excuse me, yes. Sometimes, Right. But she said she suffered for years mental illness, not mad, but cutting herself and, doing these things. And I was like, wow, a lot of us afraid to speak out and afraid to conquer this. Some person, they say, mad people in a clean clothes, but it's not mad. I wouldn't go that far. Mental illness is not a mad eating out garbage pan or walking up and down on the road.
Just like cancer.
It's just like cancer.
Yes.
Right. And a lot of our prominent men and women today in this life are suffering silent because they're afraid to conquer it.
Yes.
You understand me? Right. And it comes in all forms and shape. People in a ranking position, people in prominent position. And so I look at some in the upper class family. The pulpit.
Yes.
The pulpit, believe you me. Because when you go in a church, have somebody they beat them to speak. I beat out them like, speak. No! That's disorder. Okay? Right. So, in the pulpit, political life, we just have a case. It's only mental illness could do though in the political arena. Yes. I am speaking, let me say something nationwide. I don't want nobody to stone me when I finish on this platform. But the Lord has not given me a spirit of fear. But of love, power, and sound mind. And remember, all that I'm doing here is a vision from Habakkuk 2 verse 2. So it must be heard. Her voice matters. And so, the ordinary man and woman will fight it out. Emotional abuse constitute to all other abuse. This here what I'm saying, mental and emotional abuse, it constitute to all, because where there is no mental stability, there's no healthy life. Let me tell you that. So in order to be practical, your well-being is intact, take care of your mental and emotional status. Am I making myself clear?
What a mouthful that was.
Yes.
What a mouthful. A woman with a lot of experience.
Yes.
But wouldn't you say that one of the causes of domestic violence is the fact that we don't know ourselves, we don't love ourselves, and so we tend to get to that crossroad where we have to make a decision, do I move on with this relationship or do I stay in this relationship? And majority of the times when we move out of that relationship and we find ourselves and we start to love ourselves, we look back and we realize that sometimes, maybe the other person wasn't even the challenge or the problem. We were, But that's for another discussion, yes? So
yes, that's a fair mouthpiece, and it goes right back to the emotional and mental status of our lives, right?
So I'm happy for chapter 7, because in chapter 7 you spoke about the virtuous black woman.
Oh yeah.
And in today's society, how could you define what is truly meant by a virtuous woman? What qualities or values should a woman strive to cultivate in order to walk confidently in her purpose?
A virtuous black woman. In today's world, I can safely say again, I love to use that word, I'm sitting down safe. We have seen where there's a culture shift. Allow me to just prep one more time in this. There's a culture shift. And over the years, we have seen this racial beam hanging over our beautiful black women and even our men. Interracial relationships, more specifically, I speak about. And we we fail, even as parents, we would fail to accept another race, especially a white man for example, and a black woman. But I am happy to say today, we are no longer a slave to our color, class, or creed. Our black women are doing exceptionally well. We're integrating in every strata of native generation wise. And I want to say to Nationwide, our black women produce some of the most beautiful kids. They are some of the most loving women, especially in the African content. I speak for them boldly too. I am in love with channel that features beautiful black women, interracial relationship. And my word to you today, don't be afraid. If you feel you're in love with a Chinese, or you're in love with a white man, or you're in love with an Indian, whatever different race from your black beauty, step out in greatness. Love have no boundary. Step out in greatness. Lift your shoulder and walk with assurance. This is who I am. Hey, I'm black, I'm beautiful, I'm special. Yeah. So I want to say to my black lady, those were the days gone behind. Now we are moving forward and never backward. Keep your head high and continue to be confident in who you are.
A virtuous woman.
A virtuous black woman.
There you have it, from Joan Dacosta herself. As we close today's conversation, what message would you like to leave with women and even men who may be listening and who are seeking healing, strength, and purpose in their lives?
Wow. I don't want to say I'm searching for any word. I'm an author, right? Oh, bless the Lord. I want to say it is important that your ability and mentality integrated in pursuance of the same common objectives, such as your likes, dislikes, your yes, your no, you must know, and who you are. If you don't discover your ability, someone else will. So it's good to discover who you are and your worth. Someone will put a worth on you, I should say, if you don't discover who you are. Attitude is supposed to be based on fundamental principle. And so, the person of your choice, I'm going to say again, can determine your eternal destiny. Make wise choice. I think we're in a different dispensation now, new era, where our fingertip is at information process. 1, 2, 3, open. There should be no way that we enter things and say we never know. Right now online you even have the family trees, genealogy of people background. You see how deep I'm getting? So my mistakes might not be your mistakes, but I want to say the mistakes of our generation must not be the stepping stone of your today. Wise up. Be smart. Don't take anything for granted. Be the woman. Be the man. Be the one. Time is short, and enjoy life to the fullest. And whilst you're enjoying life, I'm going to tell you again, ensure that every household in Nationwide have a copy of this book. It is a guide. It helps you how to value yourself, how to budget, how to recuperate, how to energize, how to restore your life. Everything is in this. I need to say nothing more about this book. Bless you.
What an interview this was. There you have it, Joan Dacosta. Thank you so much for inviting me to sit with you today. It was indeed my pleasure. Your journey and your book reminds us that every voice has value. And when we use our voice with faith and purpose, it has the power to inspire change, healing, and restoration. Thank you again for joining us this morning on Kingdom Restoration and Liberation podcast. Thank you to Palm Guest House for hosting us. Thank you, viewers. See you next time right here
on Kingdom Restoration and Liberation podcast.